All right, welcome back, everybody. I'm happy to be joined this Monday, week 8 of the Brick Wall series. I still have the brick wall behind me, and I'm wearing my gear, and so is Barry. Barry Smith, thank you for joining me today.
Warren,
You're a star of Southern Charm, New Orleans on Bravo. A longtime friend. We go way back to the days of Tulane. I think you were the much bigger guy in the gym. I was always trying to be jacked, and I have to let you know I did go to the gym today because I didn't want to feel that inferior to you, but I still have the dad bod going on. But thanks for joining me, man.
Well, Warren, guess what? I'm a much older guy now. So there you go.
All right, fine. So you're gonna let me catch up with my grades. Yeah, for
right.
Sure.
Got to shave it off.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't have any problems with haircuts during the pandemic?
No, man. Bald guys are not recession proof. Oh my God, pandemic proof. We can shave our own heads in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, I did my own haircut, and it was a mistake. Luckily, my mother-in-law helped me in the back, but I should go see a professional. But let's get into it. I mean, you're again a star of hit Bravo TV show. You have a serial entrepreneur, lots of businesses. Let's start with the brand on your shirt. Tell everybody about FitPro.
Okay, so FitPro Factory. I've been in the fitness industry for over 25 years. I've been a trainer. I've trained like pro athletes. I started my own company called Fuel Sports Performance. That's when you and I met over at Tulane.
Absolutely.
And
I'll never forget the gear, and I always wanted one. I told you earlier today.
Yeah, it's going to be vintage, but I'll get you one.
Exactly.
So from Fuel Sports Performance came Fuel Center of Fitness. So basically, I bought my own gym, opened it up, and I kept the Fuel brand and just changed the heading underneath. But just through like being in the industry for so long before the pandemic, me and my partner were kind of realizing that the fitness industry is on a tilt. Everybody's into the more specialized group X training studios, not big box gyms. These guys are cannibalizing each other, $10 a month. You can't compete with that. But what you can do is give somebody something unique where they feel like they're a part of something and they can only get it at your facility. So, we designed a lot of classes. And so what we did was we coined them and made them our own. They're our own intellectual property. And that's how FitPro was born. But not only did we want to go into like specialty group X, but we also wanted to make everything, all inclusive to the facility. I'm a trainer, so I give people advice all the time, like what's the best BCAAs to buy, the best amino, pre-workouts, the best whey proteins, and they'll go to GNC, Vitamin Shop, they'll make that purchase, and I benefit zero from that. So with FitPro, everything's going to be under one roof. Every member is going to get onboarded as if they were going to a doctor's office. They're going to see a nutritionist. We have apparel, accessories. We have a whole full pro shop. If you forget your socks, we have socks, and then we have 4 classes that we design that you can only get at FitPro. So that makes us a workout destination, not just a destination to work out.
That's awesome. So it sounds like when I go to the barber shop or a salon, I get a haircut, they give me advice as to what products to use. It's right on the shelf. And
right.
There's some margin for them in that. So it's the same kind of model.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's awesome.
You make so much money with the add-on sales, so to say. And we also are moving over into the virtual sphere. And this was before the pandemic. I'm gonna keep saying that. We were kind of ahead of the curve, but now it's been catapulted to the front because with FitPro, as a member, you also get our FitPro app, which has streaming classes. Like if you like Warren in New York, you like his total body eclipse class, we have a list where you can go and check out Warren's classes and take them, from the privacy of your own home. So the pandemic hit, so we moved everything to the forefront. So it's like I'm back in college,
Yeah. I mean, what does it feel like to be? Yeah, of course. I mean, what does it feel like? I mean, again, like you said, you're a trainer, but you're a serial entrepreneur. You have all these businesses, and then to get into app development and technology. I mean, what's that like? I mean, because it's just I always say there are so many compartmentalizations that we can put our mind in, and so much adaptability. But I mean, what is it like to have to keep pivoting, and it's commendable that you were doing it prior. But certainly stamp of approval. Society is working out from home. People are using video and app. I mean, I think it's very cool that you're ahead of the curve. So what's it like to you to have to be that adaptable?
So Warren, I know how to stay in my lane. Okay, so I'm the fitness guy. I'm the brand. I'm the face. I'm going to promote it. I'm going to push it. But I know nothing about technology and developing an app. So we have a whole department that does that. And I kind of like just, hey, I like this color. Let's put this video here. You know, I have the creativity side, but as far as for like dipping into the technology realm, I'm gonna leave that to you guys. And I'm gonna continue just being the brand, you know.
Yeah, but it's important. I mean, if you're the brand, it's important that it matches, like, you know, the brand equity that you want to put forth and everything that you're doing. So it's important that you give input.
Oh yeah.
But I understand staying in the lane, and that's very important. Before we get into, I know you have other businesses, and again, like I said, you're a serial entrepreneur. I want to get into that. But how did this all start? How did you get into fitness? How did it become your life? And you become this hulk of a giant man who helps others, work out.
Well, I'm just gonna take it way back to my mom. I'm a mama's boy. Okay, so my mom was a single parent. She raised me. She did the job of both dad and mom, and I played sports in high school, so I would get letters from colleges, you know, for football, and I brought them home, and she would cry because she's happy for me. I would cry because I thought she didn't want me to leave home. So basically, I didn't go off to school to play football, and I stayed. I went to a local college here in New Orleans, Xavier University, and then I just found my heart not into college. I hate to say that on this interview, but it's not for everybody. I was missing sports, so I was like, I'm going to take a little gap year. You know, I'm going to take a gap, and I'm going to go work at a gym. You know, figure out my life. And so I started working at a gym as a weight room director, and I was always in shape because I played sports. And so people would ask me, like, "Hey, man, what do you do for your arms, or what do you do for your chest?" And so I'm writing down workouts for people, and I'm making $8 an hour while trainers are on the floor making, you know, at the time, 45, $50, which was a lot of money back then. I was like, something's got to change here. So long story short, I got certified to be a trainer, started training, and I'm still on my gap year.
Hey, you know what? College, a lot of companies are saying they don't need college anymore, right? Or, you know, they're not requiring it. It's as long as, I believe, if you got that hustle and drive, and you're destined to do something, then, you know, just do it.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah, you just gotta have the willingness to learn.
You can attest. I wasn't too into college either. I was definitely at the gym more than in class. I was always hanging out there. So let's talk a little bit about. I know you have two other. You have First Team Apparel, which is why don't we get into that? And then I also want to talk about pound cakes, which is protein cakes, right?
Yes, those are plant-based protein pancake mix. But First Team, like I said,
I meant pancakes. I said cakes. I'm sorry. I meant pancakes.
That's okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I love everything fitness and wellness. I try to surround myself with that in all aspects of my life. So, this happened, man, I've been working on First Team for a long time. And sometimes things take a little longer to stick than others. But we're getting some traction here. But I started First Team before I became a Tulane. I was at the gym that I worked at, and I trained a lot of athletes. And so I had my best friend that I lived with at the time. I was like, hey, man, we need to design like a line of sportswear, to like these guys are wear for us for free, why not? And so, I like to draw a lot. So I'm like, we go to eat dinner, and I'm like drawing little symbols, combining like stars and circles. Cause I wanted something abstract, nothing like a bulldog's face, I wanted something that can be reinvented and just put on different apparel items. So came up with a sketch of a logo, and then we started working on the name. And so we was like, man, who thought of these names? Like, like at the time it was like Champion and Starter, and it wasn't even Under Armour yet. And so I was like, who thought of starter? I mean, if you're a starter, you're on the first team, like first team offense, first team defense. And so we're like, damn, I like that. It's a name with an attitude. Like, who doesn't want to be on the first team? Like, whatever you do in life, you want to be the best. So you could be a first team garbage man, first team accountant, first team lawyer, So we thought for sure the name would be taken. So we did the federal trademark application. The name First Team came back like 3 months, but the logo took a little longer. And so we started, just grassroots marketing using the athletes that I was training to wear it. And, at the time, look, I love all of my buddies I had back then, but they really didn't know the power of business over the power of partying, So they were willing to like spend oodles of money traveling, but they just didn't want to focus on business at the time. So we kind of like shelved it for a little while. So we get, fast forward now, I'm married with kids, a little older and wiser, and financially stable. So we resurrected it about 3 or 4 years ago, just before the show aired, Southern Charm aired. And so we made some tremendous strides. We have a fantastic designer. She used to be the lead designer for Nike, her and her good friend. So they're doing a whole line for First Team for us right now as we speak.
That's awesome. And how about again, since you're integrated with everything you do, tell us about pound cakes, the pancakes, not the cakes.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Pound cakes, man. Let me tell you, you know me, I love to eat, but I'm not a health nut, but I really like to control what I put into my body because I hate to be so cliche, but you only get one. So I want to take care of it as much as I can. But I love breakfast. I can eat breakfast for lunch and dinner, like all day long. And I love pancakes. So at the time I was buying like, competitors' pancakes, protein pancakes, just trying to be healthy. And it just didn't have the best taste or the best aftertaste. I just couldn't find that right mix to make me satisfied. So I had a client, so I train a wide variety of people. One of my clients is a chef. And so I talked to her, I said, hey, I want to design my own pancake mix. And she said, what kind of pancake mix? I was like, protein pancakes. She was like, okay. She was like, meet me at my restaurant and we're going to like do some research and we're going to like combine all types of ingredients and we'll figure it out. So, man, we were like mad scientists. I had everybody involved. I had my brother Ed involved, my daughter, my son, friends and family. We're just mixing pancakes. It's like something you see on the Food Network. We'll make 4 pancakes with 4 different mixes, pancake 1, 2, 3, 4. And, everybody picked which one they like. And we just kept redoing the recipe until it was unanimous that this is the one. And that's how the pound cake was formed. I like the name pound cake because I'm into fitness and it could be a play on words, like pound as in like weights or pound or, it's just a fun name. A lot of people were like, wait, I thought pound cakes was like the little round cake you get when you at your grandma's house. I was like, no, we're about to reinvent that. So the website is about to go live and it's explaining what pound cakes are. It's a plant-based protein mix. It can be mixed with water or milk, whatever you want to mix with it, but it is fantastic. And when we get the product, I'm going to send you some.
I appreciate it because as someone who's cared about fitness for a long time, I've tried many of the protein cookies. I've tried, protein shakes. There is always this weird aftertaste. Yeah. And it's not here nor there. So I look forward to trying that. And, I'm sure after all that taste testing, it'll be fantastic.
Oh yeah. You're going to like it. So, I'm pretty confident.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying it. So, it was just Father's Day yesterday. I have 2, I know you have 2 and your kids are older. What did you guys do for Father's Day? And happy Father's Day, belated.
Well, likewise, man, likewise. Well, my wife is a TV personality here on News with a Twist, Channel 26, ABC. But she's also interviewing for other, not other jobs, but, we all in Bravo. So she had a few meetings lined up where she was in LA this weekend. So I was at home alone with the kids, which was fine. She did her happy Father's Day thing. They bought me a few gifts. I took the kids out to eat. Notice I said I took the kids out to eat. So it was a pretty low key day, man. And that's, as a father, that's what I just look forward to, just being with my family. It doesn't have to be, a lot of bells and whistles, just a lot of quiet time and just hanging out with my family is good enough for me.
Well, every day should be Father's Day, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's beautiful. So, and I know that during the pandemic, your son Hunter graduated from high school. Correct me if I'm wrong. What was that like? I know there were a lot of parents dealing with weird graduations, college closing early. What was that experience like, and how was it for him?
Man, Warren, it's been a tough scholastic career for my son. And let me tell you, man, let's say the kids here in Louisiana, well, some of this was nationwide things, but he started pre-K late because of Hurricane Katrina, right? No, was it? No, 9/11. I'm sorry. It was 9/11. He started pre-K late because of 9/11. And then Hurricane Katrina happened, so they started school late for that. And now he's graduating high school and it's a pandemic. So he didn't really get to experience what we did as seniors, like the prom, the senior trip that we paid for to Disney World didn't happen. Just actually having a blow off year because he worked so hard to get to this level, where he was exempt from all his exams because his grades are so high, then pretty much everybody was exempt. So he worked so hard to get to a point where he can just coast through and say, I'm a senior, look at me, I did it, to staying home, doing his work on the computer, which I feel for all these kids, because it's something that they'll never get back. We did a drive-by ceremony at his school where they handed him his cap and gown. It was bittersweet, man, because I lost my mom last September and she was his biggest cheerleader,
Right.
and she really, really wanted to see him graduate. So it kind of struck a nerve, to see him get his cap and gown, and my mom not being there, but it's been a tough 2020 for all of us. And but he's been resilient. He's a hardworking kid, man. He's going to Loyola University on a full ride scholarship. He's going to play basketball, and he is way more driven than I ever was at that age.
That's awesome to hear, and I'm sorry that he had a weird last year experience, but still important. How old is your daughter? We have to give equal time.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
How's her quarantine been?
The princess, Rainey. She's 11 years old. She's 11 years old, and she's an athlete as well. She doesn't really put it all into the books like she should. You have to kind of like tell her, hey, go study. But she makes good grades. But we got to kind of like push her in that direction. But she's a fantastic kid. She doesn't get in trouble. She's 5'9" at 11 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's a volleyball player, track and field star, and a girl, So during quarantine, Randy's quarantine proof. This girl can stay in her room, and she's always been like that. If she gets punished when she was 6 years old, we take everything from her, and you can hear her upstairs singing and dancing. You go in her room, she's entertaining herself. So this quarantine was nothing for her. She was just like, yeah, whatever, But kids are good. Everybody's healthy. I'm blessed to have the family that I have.
And that sounds wonderful. Now I want to ask about your wife, who you said earlier is on News with a Twist. What's it been like for her has she been going to studio, or has she been reporting from home?
Warren, she's been reporting from home, so that's making me executive producer here.
That's what I'm asking. I'm on my laptop and my phone with some paper questions here. And
yeah, man.
I'm sure you guys have the right equipment, but what's that been like?
It's been pretty awesome because we get to work together behind the scenes. Like I never saw her in her, doing her job, like at News with a Twist. I've been on TV with her for Bravo. That's a little different. It's not scripted. It's just like, hey, you're gonna have lunch with Warren at Copeland's. Go, and you just start talking and film. But at work, it's a schedule. It's a they have to read the prompter. It's like it's different. It's so different. So to see her in her element at home, she's pretty intense. She's a hardworking woman, man. And like I said, I'm the executive producer here. I've set up the lights, the tripods, and all that stuff. Make sure her sound is good.
You get credits on TV now, or not, or just behind the scenes?
Every now and then, her co-host LBJ will give me some props. But
all right,
she thanks me all the time. It's all in good fun though.
No, that's awesome. And so let's dive into Bravo. How did that happen? I know like the Southern Charm, the original in Charleston, and then there's Southern Charm, Savannah, and then New Orleans. How did that come about? How were you approached? How did that? and why'd you decide to do it? I know it's an awesome opportunity, but I know there's some people who want to live in their private life, and then there are others that want to be out there. And I'm sure it was definitely a leap. So how did that come about?
It was definitely a leap for me. I like to talk. I'll be the first to tell you I'll talk to a wall, but being on camera for me was like, oh, I don't know about this. And it all started from my wife, basically. She was contacted like through a DM on Facebook from a production company saying they were looking to shoot a show in New Orleans, and at the time I think it was really steering towards like Real Housewives type show. One of the people that were casted for the show, he passed away, and they kind of scrapped the idea. And a year later, a new production company circles back. Tamika comes home. She said, "Hey, a new production company has contacted me, and they want to shoot a sizzle reel for a show on Bravo." And I'm like, again, so it happened. Like, they came in town, and Tamika was like, "All you need to do, they just want to interview with you and I. Like, they know you don't want to be on the show. You just want to be like the husband, but we have to interview, and they want you to be in the chair next to me." So I'm like, okay. So we go, to Reagan Charleston's house, where they were filming the sizzle reel, and we did our interview. And amazingly enough, I wasn't that nervous because the cameras weren't in my face. They were like across the room, but I guess the zoom is so great, you don't feel the presence of the camera. And so we're kind of playing off each other, in our interview. She say a little stuff, and I'll, say a little funny stuff. And it was like, you guys are so good on camera. And so one thing led to another, and then I got offered a contract to be one of the A cast on the show. So I was like, okay, so here's where I'm at. And just like, I'm an entrepreneur. I have multiple brands that I'm working on. I was like, can I promote those shows, those products on the show? Are you going to blur them out, or how they do? And it was like, no, we encourage that. Like, if you have a company or a brand, you're gonna promote that on the show, and don't make it so commercial, but you can wear, a first team shirt, or you're working out at your gym. They're gonna show the logo, they're gonna show the location. So I was like, wait, so you're gonna pay me to be on TV, and I get to promote my brands? And I was like, where do I sign up?
Sign here, exactly.
Sign me up. Yeah, but it was really, man, it was good for me. It helped me grow as a parent. I'm a real introvert when it comes to certain issues, and to have to actually talk, and then talk where the whole world is listening to you is it's a little stressful, but it made me more and more comfortable to do the parenting things I need to do in life. So it's been fun.
Do you think about, like, when you're filming, do you think about what you're saying in the context of like filtering because you're on camera, or do you just naturally flow after a while and get comfortable with it?
Well, initially they knew that I was holding back. Like, Tamika would say something, or we'd be in a situation where somebody says something, they'll look at me, and I'm like looking away, or made a face or something. And so one of my producers pulled me to the side and said, "Hey, look, for TV, if you think it, you say it." And I was like, "What?" He was like, "If you think it, say it." And I'm like, okay. So it took me a little while to get used to that. But then after a while, I was just like blurting out everything I thought. And Tamika's like, "Who are you?" So it just made the show better, for editing purposes. You just lay it on the line. That's what you signed up for, And a lot of people think it's like scripted, and they tell you what to say. And there have been some instances where that's happened and it's gone public. But I can honestly tell you, we were all friends before this show, all 6 of us, or 8 of us, however many it was, and we're still friends. So they couldn't steer the ship on us. It was true to who we were. Real life situations, they could have been magnified, just because it's TV, but it was real.
Well, it's also, I mean, you also have all the blogs and the commentary and the Bravo celebrity world. So, I mean, there are other people who like pour, fuel on that fire.
Oh yeah.
As far as creating drama outside of the drama, if there, if there is any. So I'm sure, but that also builds your brands. So
right, if they're not talking about you, it's not good.
Exactly. What's happening this year? I mean, I haven't really read much about it, but we represent at Herald. We represent Broadway Stages, which is a large TV film production facility. In New York, in Brooklyn, Queens, Staten Island, and they said a lot of their shows, which would have filmed this summer, or having trouble. Is the 2021 season of Bravo going to be hurt by this? Do you think, or are you guys planning on filming?
Honestly, Warren, I wish I could tell you that. I really don't know what's going on, to be totally honest with you. We've been hearing rumors that we were canceled from blogs, but no one has reached out to us.
See, the drama, the bullshit.
The drama.
Yeah.
So these people
know.
like,
They don't know.
they're posting stuff on Instagram like, oh my God, Southern Charm Nola's canceled. And they tagging all of us. And so we have a group text with the whole cast. And I'm like, what's up with that? What's going on? And everybody's like, I don't know. It's just rumors. And hey, I guess it's good because people miss us, and that'll let Bravo know, hey, maybe we need to hit the gas a little faster for these guys. The pandemic did slow everything down. Some of the camera guys that we became friends with flew in town the day before they shut the city down to shoot a movie, and they shipped them right back to LA. So, and I don't think they've come back. So, we just at 50%. I think we're on stage 2 or something like that. So the world is slowly, ramping back up, but you get stuck behind so many obstacles because of the 3-month gap. So honestly, I don't know where we are with Southern Charm Nola. We haven't heard anything yet.
Well, being that you're on the show, and I hope that it continues, and I won't believe those blogs, I'll believe facts. But what's it been like to be a steward of of the reputation of the city that you love so much, of New Orleans? I mean, it's the show. When I was living in New Jersey, I'm back in New Orleans now, but when I was living in New Jersey, I watched the show. Obviously because I know you, but also because just there's some once you live in New Orleans, once you're connected with the city, it stays in your heart, and there's something to it. Just seeing the street signs, just seeing the corners, just seeing the places. What's it been like for you as a hometown boy, with tons of love for the city to steward and share with the nation?
Man, it's been pretty surreal, like you said, because New Orleans is its own character. So basically, New Orleans was part of the ACAS. There's not many cities that have so much character that people just want to see it. It's kind of like, me and my daughter sitting watching Disney documentaries, because it's like Disney is like its own mecca. Like you just want to know all the ins and outs of it. You know what I mean? And it's kind of how people feel about New Orleans: the food, the music, the festivals, the nightlife. It was his own character. So for me being from New Orleans, initially, a lot of people, I guess you're going to get the most from your hometown people. The show first aired, a lot of people like, we don't live like that. And, it was 50-50. People didn't like us. People loved us. But, once people, I guess, started watching the show and saw how real we were, and that we were a diverse group of friends, that it made sense, because that's what New Orleans is. New Orleans is a melting pot of cultures, man. It's like gumbo, and that's what I thought we brought to Bravo was diversity. It wasn't a lot of shows on TV are, I hate to say it, like segregated. It's like either all Black, all Persian, all Indian, all white, all Mexican. Why does it have to be like that? Why can't it just be a good show? White, Blacks, straight, gay, everybody's friends and everybody's living their life and successful. And we have our drama, but it's just it's a really good, diverse group of people that are truly friends.
And you're right. That is, and that's awesome to hear. But you're right. I mean, that's New Orleans. It's, everyone says hi to each other on the street. Doesn't matter who you are, what color, creed, LGBTQ. It's just it's a melting pot of people who are warm, who like to have fun and don't like rules. No.
Don't like rules at all.
Yeah, of course. So talking about the diversity that the show brings, and I agree that a lot of other shows are segregated. I've seen it on Bravo and other channels. I know that a couple of folks from Vanderpump Rules got in trouble for racist comments, and there was pseudo scandals or whatnot in the movement with Bravo, them getting fired. What's your take on that?
Man, let me tell you, this world, I really think we at a tipping point right now, as far as for the racial injustice for African American males, mainly in this country. And my daughter is 11 years old. She summed it up perfectly with the Black Lives Matter. All right. No one Black is saying that your life doesn't matter. But if you're saying all lives matter, then Black lives have to matter as well. So it's not a racial thing. I mean, if you look at the videos, there's more white people, that's wearing Black Lives Matter shirts than the Black people, and just I've grown up, as a young Black man. I've been pulled over by the cops for mistaken identity. I've had a gun drawn on me. I've been thrown in jail for mistaken identity just because I was in a nice car and the police just felt like pulling us over, So I've lived it. I've lived it. I have a young son who's 18. He's biracial, but at the end of the day, he's still a young Black man. So, you got to have these uncomfortable conversations with him because, he went to a diverse high school here, but, he has this group of friends that a majority of them are white. And then he has his basketball buddies that a majority of them Black. So he hangs out with all types of people, but I just have to make him aware of what's going on in the world. And he's been so stand up, man, like to wake up. And one day he was like, hey, I'm going to City Park, Dad. I'm going to a protest with my friends. And it was his white friends he was going with. So it was like mind blowing at where we are, and I don't really know what happened with the Vanderpump cast and who did or said what, because honestly, people at Bravo think I'm so funny because I don't watch it. I'm like, I'm on the show. That's it. I don't sit down and watch. I just don't have time, but this world is hypersensitive. You got to watch what you say, choose your words wisely. I've stuck my foot in my mouth before and I could be labeled as that person, but it was in the heat of the moment. It was something that I regret, but it was just a war of words, and I mean, are they racist people? I don't know. Did they say something that was racist? Probably so. I think if we all sit back and think about it, we've all said something racist. Either it was joking or serious because you were angry about something. Doesn't necessarily make you a bad person, but right now, if you're a celebrity, you gotta watch everything you say, and you better get behind the right movement that's supporting humanity and togetherness and not like separatism and just being divisive and controversial and just think the world is, we don't need any of that anymore. We got to realize that we're all humans, we're all children of God, man. We all bleed red. It's a cliche, but at the end of the day, it's true. No matter how much money I have or you have, when we die, we're going 6 feet deep. Period.
Yeah. I always say we eat, we shit, we brush our teeth, and we're under God, and we're all same. We're flesh.
Right.
I agree completely. And you're right about the celebrity thing. I mean, my wife would tell you I was working all weekend because we have a crisis management division at Herald, our PR firm in New York, and I spent my entire weekend on the phone with different level of celebrities and business leaders talking about things that they've said and trying to get out there either before or or they're being doused with the hose, being caught up in in what's going on right now. But I think that it's really important, and the fact that white people are standing with Black people and coming together and marching together to support, I think is what it should be, and it should have always been that way. I mean, to me, again, I grew up in Brooklyn, and my had many friends. We never. I didn't see color. I see people, and right, exactly. And I see people's soul. So it's disappointing that it took this much, these many bad things to happen. But I definitely think that it's important that this movement's happening. But there are a whole host of celebrities that are getting in deep doo-doo for this.
Yeah. Dude, it's like I said, it's just very hypersensitive, and you don't have to empathize with me, but you can sympathize for me. Like. You don't know what it's like, so you can't just say all lives matter and, be happy you're in America and move on, because it's not that easy. It's to wake up and like worry about getting pulled over or being in the wrong place at the wrong time. I mean, there's good and bad in everybody. And it might be 3% bad cops, but the other 97% have to suffer for that 3%. The thing that really besides the protests and seeing all the unity. But the thing that strikes most with me is to see those cops that have to stand there and be the barrier between good and bad. And a lot of these guys' beliefs are on the other side, but they have to do their job, So how stressful is that? To be a white or black cop or whatever, and you strongly believe that Black Lives Matter and there's a lot of racial injustice and systemic racism going on in America, but you have to stand your ground because that's your job. Think about that. So I just think that, like I said, we had a tipping point, and we all need to use our platform, big or small, and just stand up for what's right. Friends are reaching out that don't understand, and I love it. Most people don't want to talk about that. It's uncomfortable, but like for your friends to reach out to you that are white and say, hey man, what's going on? How you feeling? Like, talk to me, that's major, man.
Yeah. I mean, a few weeks ago I had, Terrence Floyd, who, George's brother's attorney, and Reverend Kevin McCall on, who were on the front lines. They kneeled at the site where he was killed. And I thought, I jumped them ahead in the schedule to get them on because I thought it's super important to get the message across. And and they spoke beautifully and shared wonderful message of unity and talking about the tipping point that you mentioned. And I hope that the result is that we move in the right direction here. Since you're a fitness guru, we have to end with let's leave with a couple of tips, like as people are coming out of it. But again, I'm back in New Orleans. I was at the gym today, which I was like, what am I doing here? It's so weird. I've been working out with videos at home. But aside from the FitPro app, what do you suggest that people are be doing at home and stay motivated to stay fit?
Man, so I had to, I've always I love my clients. I have a good clientele base, but I had people that would send me messages all the time that knew me from the show or just wanted to train with me and like, hey, can you do online training? And I was never interested. I was like, I don't want to get into that. I just want to train my people, be happy, go home. And then when the pandemic hit, all of a sudden, you drop from this income to this income. You have to reinvent yourself. You have to get out of your comfort zone. And that's when I started doing online subscriptions. It's called Get Fit at Home with B. Smith. And basically it's just a series of workouts that I'm using. Like most people have dumbbells, so I'll use dumbbells. I'll use like resistor bands. I'll use gallons of water. Like I have like so many gallons of Stealth water at my house that I'll just have them full, and I'll do exercises with gallons of water or, any type of canned goods. So I started that. And so people subscribe every month, and we have a private Facebook group where like you can actually talk to me, which people, I don't know why they think I'm a celebrity, but they want to talk to me. They were like, hey, Barry, what should I eat tonight? Can I eat bread? And I'm just like, oh, no. And I'll just, respond to them, and they think that's the best thing ever. So the online workouts of what I've been doing more of, just because my gym is closed, and people want to work out. So that's where I'm at. I'm in a virtual world right now, man.
Do you find it to be as effective, or do you think there's still that in-person touch?
Oh, well, let me tell you, I'm a firm believer in brick and mortar gyms. Like, you're never gonna get rid of them.
Yeah.
No matter how many mirrors you invent or Peloton bikes, like people have those and it's great, but those people still going outside. They still going to a gym. You have to work out, So the online workouts, that was something that I did because of quarantine. It was like, people need to work out and there's no gyms. So I'm sure there's something of weight in your house that you can use. So I'm gonna do a series of workouts, and it's gonna keep you going through this pandemic, because I knew it wasn't gonna last forever. But now I have a base of people that I can reach that I normally couldn't, or they couldn't reach me. So I'm, keeping that going now because it's just a thing to do. But you got to get back. You got to have balance. So if you want to look like me or you got to get in the gym.
You're
not going to get that working out in front of a mirror. Like you're going to get a good workout. You're going to burn calories. You're going to feel good about yourself. Clap it up. But when it comes down to like actually really changing your body muscularly, you know, you're going to have to get some resistance to it. And you're not going to get that on a bike or a band or a set of 25-pound dumbbells at your house. You need to get under some real weight, you know. So we're going to have both components. So you're a FitPro Factory member, you work out, hey, it's raining today. Oh, I'm just going to stream something, you know, boom, you know. Or if there's no FitPro Factory in Boise, Idaho, then you can, you know, subscribe on the app, you know. So we try, you know, reach more people. But you got to get to the gym.
I was doing squats with my and squat presses with my 3-year-old who's 30 pounds. And when I wanted to do my burnout, when I was burned out, I took my 20-pound 6-month-old and I did the same thing. But kids make for good weights.
I'm telling you, man, it's a good way to bond with your kids, right? They think they're on a ride and you working out.
Yeah, my little baby's smiling all ears. He doesn't know what I'm doing. I'm sweating. But exactly. I agree with that advice. I mean, I found that like I did a lot of classes online with my wife in the middle of the day. And they were great, you know, yoga, you know, HIIT training, kettlebell stuff. But, you know, getting back in the gym the last couple of days, there's nothing like it. I mean, it's, you know, you're really, you know, putting up real weight and, you know, it feels different. So I appreciate that.
Like to be around people, you know, I mean, I don't have to talk to everybody, but if I had a gym
at 8 feet away though, right? 8 feet away. No.
if I had a full gym at my house, I would hardly ever use it because I just got to get out. You know, you don't want to be like, why would you want to be inside all day, then work out at your house and then just like, you know,
especially after quarantine, I don't think anyone wants to stay and work out at their house. I think if I can go somewhere, I'm going somewhere.
Hell no.
So before we pop off, and I appreciate you spending, you know, lots of time, and we talk, you know, obviously super fascinating and amazing things to talk about. This might take a couple of minutes because of all your awesome brands. Where can you be found online, and where can you find all of your brands, the domains or Instagram, Facebook pages?
Oh man, where do I start? Let's start on a personal level here. Well, not personal, but personal training. So my online subscription, all you have to do is email getfitwithbsmith@gmail.com, and then you'll get an automated response, and it shows you how to register for the subscriptions for the online workout. As far as for FitPro, we're FitPro Factory at FitPro Factory on every social media platform. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Our website is fitprofranchise.com. And then pound cakes. So the pound cakes, same thing on all social media platforms. It's at Eat Pound Cakes, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and our website is the same. Eatpoundcakes.com is the website. So I think that's all my brands. I am coming out with a personal website for myself. It's going to be pretty cool. It's therealbsmith.com. And that's what my handle is on Instagram.
All right. Well, that's lots of places to find you. I'm sure people have to rewind, you know, to see everything. But Barry, thank you so much for joining. You know, it's awesome to have you. You know, I look forward to, you know, seeing future success, and I certainly hope you know, that you get to keep repping this awesome city on your show, and I look forward to seeing you there too.
Thank you, Warren. I'm trying to do my best, man. I'm doing my best.
You're doing it great, man. Thanks so much for joining us.